And a warm welcome to News Across Nigeria. I'm Melinda Akinlami. Coming up on the program, about 12 bodies have been recovered from River Shiroro in Munya local government area of Niger State after a boat mishap. And in Kwara State, the governor promises to support the Federal Road Safety Corps in reducing road accidents. Then in Anambra State, the government has distributed new school furniture and stationeries to all local government areas of the state. About 12 bodies have been recovered from River Shiroro in Munya local government area of Niger State after a boat mishap. The bodies were recovered with the help of the Marine Police and some local divers in the area. The Chief of Staff to the Governor of Niger State, Mr. Mikhail Bintoshi, describes the incident as unfortunate and regrettable.
There's been a standard government policy for us to see how to assist families of the bereaved. Recently, we have the same kind of situation in Suleja, the flooding in Suleja, and the government quickly came to the aid of some of the people who are bereaved. We're still talking with the DG in Sema to see how we can be of assistance to the families of the bereaved. As soon as we come to conclusion on that, there will be a statement on that. We had in our discussion how it is very important for us to insist that operators of the waterways, operators of the boats on our waterways, should begin to see how they will provide life jackets.
National unity is a priority that must be upheld. This appears to be the motivation behind the visit of a group of northern governors to some southern states of Abia, Imo, and Rivers. The governors of Borno, Sokoto, Plateau, and Katsina and Kebbi, and as well as Niger State, are part of this team, where Governor Kashim Shettima of Borno State commended the Southeast governors for their role in curbing the face-off between the Nigerian army and members of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB.
It wasn't enough for the northern governors to simply send messages of solidarity to their southern counterparts over national unity. They had to drive the point home by being physically present in a show of consensus. The chairman of the Northern Governors Forum and Borno State Governor Kashim Shettima leads a delegation that includes the Governor of Sokoto State Aminu Tambuwal, the Governor of Kebbi State Atiku Bagudu, the Governor of Katsina State Aminu Maseri. In Abia State, they meet with Governor Okeze Ekpazu and commend his leadership in managing the crisis between the army and IPOB.
We, the leaders, have a major role to play in bringing about peace and stability in this nation.
Whatever issues we have, I think we cannot talk about it on the table. And until that day comes when all of us can sit down and talk about it, we will remain one country and will not allow the infinitesimal minority, misguided people. You don't have a right to destroy what you cannot replace. So every human life is important and sacred.
In Imo State, they meet Governor Rochester Okorocha in Owerri, who assures them that northerners living in the southeast should be confident that their security remains a priority.
We have come to a very critical moment in our nation's history, where we must learn to interact and communicate to educate our people.
To River State, where Governor Nyesom Wike also declares that the state government will always protect all Nigerians and foreigners living in the state.
For us here, we'll do everything possible to protect our people. Our people will mean Nigerians.
Although the visits were brief, the impact is expected to be long-standing, that the northern governors and their peers in the southeast and south-south speak with one voice on national unity.
It's not only the IPOB matter the federal government has on its plate. There are many issues as reported daily, from calls for restructuring to marginalization by several groups. And to discuss this on the program, we're being joined by Dr. Maduabuchi Okeke. He's a senior lecturer of political science from the University of Lagos. A warm welcome, Dr. Okeke.
Thanks for inviting me.
Now let's start from the issue of restructuring. It means different things to different people. But what does it mean to restructure under this system of government?
What it means is that, what does a structure do in the first place? A structure is meant to perform certain functions. But if you look at the structure of the Nigerian political system, right from the time of independence, we had three regions, and until the fourth one was created in 1963. And then following the Civil War, what happened was that, states were created arbitrarily by the government administration, mostly to, severe the loyalty of the other minority groups in the eastern region from the Biafran cause, and that was successful. And after the Biafrans negotiated back into Nigeria, part of the agreement was that any future restructuring of the country will be, agreed by everybody. That has not been done because the military has been able to do that severally. And what happens now is you see a situation where most of these structures that perform functions are not in the interest of the generality of the Nigerians.
Why do you say that?
If you look at that, for instance, the center is too powerful. We have a situation where we have 68 items on the exclusive legislative list. And by extension, it is even 98 items because under the concurrent list, you have 30 items. And there's a clause that says, in a situation where the federal law and the state laws collide, the federal law becomes, the state law becomes null and void to the essence of its inconsistency. That means if you add 30 to 68, that means 98 items, where the federal government has overriding, powers. So what does that mean? That means the other states are virtually powerless in terms of what they can achieve.
Giving the states more power will help to solve the problem?
Not necessarily. I think, for me, the idea of restoration should be if we go back to the old regions. You understand? Or, alternatively, if you look at, for instance, the Abacha constitution that people have been condemning, the Abacha constitution probably will have solved a majority of part of the problems of what is happening today. For instance, if you look at what happened under the Yar'Adua health crisis, if it were to be under the Abacha 1995 constitution, that constitution says that power should be rotational. If, for instance, as Yar'Adua came from the northwest, that means if with Yar'Adua's death, the northwest would have gone to under 3 months after swearing the vice president as the acting president. They would have conducted another election for the northwest to produce another president from that zone to serve out the term of Yar'Adua. But that did not happen. And it's still a situation where that constitution was thrown away without considering its merits. Some of these things would have resolved these geopolitical zones, even if you want to use them presently as the component, considered as a component use of the federation. It would have doused all these tensions.
Would that also solve the problem of marginalization?
Well, if you did, to a large extent, because if you use the geopolitical zones as centers of excellence, it means you are going to devolve power to those regions. And in essence, it is better to solve corruption, for instance, at the local level than to continue to demonstrate in Lagos when the people that take decisions are in Abuja. For instance, why do I need to go to my local government if I want to contest for local government chairmanship? I have to go to Abuja to take permission to be allowed to contest for sponsorship. It's not necessary. A lot of things are there that people are not seeing it from the point of view that the idea of self-determination is it's not about Biafra, for instance. If you have a child and you are schooling in Lagos, your child cannot, for instance, be taught your language if you are, for instance, from the minority. Most of the schools in most of these cities don't teach your language. That means your culture is sucked up. Nobody, gradually your culture will die out. So the issue of self-determination is about trying to, let the people have be in control of their destiny. That's
Okay.
why I see it.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Okeke, for coming on the program. He's a senior lecturer of political science from the University of Lagos.